Hi, everybody. We are back with I would probably call him a very long-term customer of Time Doctor and a really cool guy. I've been researching this guy for the better part of 3 to 4 weeks because unfortunately I actually had to reschedule the podcast that we had originally set. His name is Pedro Barboglio and actually Mura as well. And he comes from remoteteamsolutions.com. And he's got a really interesting story about how he built Remote Team Solutions from essentially a false start in 2012 to getting serious about building a company in 2019 and now having 200 plus reps today in 2023. So, Pedro, thanks a lot for coming on. Really excited to be able to talk more about what you've done. But first question that I have for you is we both have daughters that are approximately the same age, and you've got some really cool minions in the background. What are the other big things that a 4-year-old little girl can't live without?
So today she went dressed as Frozen, so she has to have Frozen. That's one, and
Yes,
Mermaid. Little Mermaid, she
yes,
loves Little Mermaid. I don't know if your daughter, but they have to have that mermaid costume and mermaid swimsuit to go with the mermaid tail.
yes. My daughter, who's 3.5, is actually wearing out her Frozen dress, and she likes to wear it every single day to daycare to the point now where she'll wear it 4 or 5 days in a row, and I have to go and wash it. And then I'll say, "You can't wear your Frozen dress anymore. It's dirty." And then she'll say, "Okay, I'll go wash it." And she takes it and she brings it into the washing machine and she demands to get the soap to be able to clean it and all this kind of stuff so that she can wear it the next day, which is very cute, but not the intended effect that I needed. But we're not talking about Frozen today. We're talking about building companies. Can you tell me in like 1 or 2 sentences what does Remote Team Solutions do?
Our purpose, Liam, is to contribute to the success of great companies by building their best remote teams while making our clients and their team part of the RTS family. And I mean, the way we do this is by nurture staffing, right? We help
Hmm.
our customers build their teams in Mexico, and that way they tap to 5% of the talent. They lower the cost around 50, 60%, and the turnover rate, it's just a 2% turnover rate.
Wow. You say that, but that's a pretty amazing accomplishment to be able to have a turnover rate at 2%. We will be getting into that later on in the show, but how are you really different from the rest of the market? If you were trying to sell me as an example on Remote Team Solutions in comparison to probably me shopping around for other people, who is your ideal customer and why do you win the deals that you win? Got it. And what particular verticals do you serve? Is it anything or is it specific, niches and verticals that you work on? Wow. Okay. And so I talked a lot at the top of this session about how you kind of had a bit of a false start in 2012. Can you tell me about the beginning of the business and I guess the two beginnings of the business and how you got started?
Yeah, well, on 2012, I was living in Austin. I was
Hmm.
VP of the family business. It's been over 4 years now. And
Hmm.
I was in Austin opening more US markets. And I met a friend in Austin, and he just sold a business and wanted to start a new one. And he told me, but I want my team to be in Mexico because of the same culture, similar culture in the US, English language. So I started, I said, let me find a company that does that. I didn't find any company that do that. So I thought, you know what, I'll put
Hmm.
your team in my office. Don't worry. And I started
Hmm.
just for this guy, right? On 2018, December 2018, I decided to step down from the family business. We just finished the construction of a new facility. So I stepped down now
Hmm.
to make remote team solution formally. We started with a lot of research, doing a lot of research, talking to potential clients to see what they like, what they would like from a company like that. And something that we really want in our clients, you mentioned who's our target client, is one that shares the same value as us. And that's people, right? We a client that knows that people help do or break a business. So someone that will treat their
Right.
people good. So as we started talking to those companies, and then finally put remote team together in 2019.
And so you put remote team together in 2019. Um, Approximately how many people did you have? Like a dozen or something like this in comparison to where you are now?
No, when we put remote team together, we started from scratch because my friend sold
Okay.
his company and closed it and retired to Italy. So he
Okay.
moved off. Yeah, he closed. Well, he didn't close his company. He actually sold his company, and they moved everyone to Playa del Carmen. And we moved them to Playa del
Wow.
Carmen. We make all the transition, help him with all the transition, and he retired to Italy. So we started from scratch,
Hmm.
and and then when we started with our first client, it was a virtual an executive assistant for our first
Got
client.
it. Okay. So you're starting from scratch in 2019. You essentially had a little bit of experience, but not that much experience. And now, 4 years later, you had 200 plus reps. Um, how did you hit that number? Like, what were the biggest aha moments, the biggest inflection points for growth for you guys during that 4 year period? You might be able to give
COVID,
us some insights for people that are listening. COVID, yeah.
yeah, COVID helped because people know that they could work remotely. I mean, companies that were not used to working
Right.
remotely knew that they could work remotely, so that helped. Also, we focus a lot on customer service. If you see our core values, there are two core values that talk about customer service, and we do that
Hmm.
because we want them. We want our team to be really, really focused on customer service. There's client centric and client value creation. So, and also on getting the top talent. We say, let's not scheme on salaries. Let's hire everyone a full time employee. Let's create a great facility.
Right.
And we got our first client, and he started growing. Right, he started with 2 persons and then grew to 5, and then word
Hmm.
of mouth. We got another one. We start getting a lot of clients, and that's how we start growing. And another inflection point that we really like is a story I like to tell is uh, we got a client. He had people in India, Philippines, and Belize. So he was trying us. Right? He was trying us. He started with like 5 people. They come and visit the team, talk to me, say, Pedro, we want our own office because we also do branded office, and we want it like this for 11 people. So we did it. They came back to see the office 3 weeks later,
Hmm.
and I remember him because he told me, Pedro, I have you good news and bad news. And well, what's the bad news? I'm sorry that you spend money on that office. We don't need it. You know why? Because now we want to go to 30 people with you. We're going to close all our other centers and hire everyone in here. So that also helped us. All that and that all our clients usually grow with us. We have a really high client retention rate. So those were really great
Okay.
points.
Wow. I want to go back to your 2% turnover rate. Do you have a particular methodology? Because I know that the industry average is 56%. So you're sitting at essentially, I'm assuming that's 2% monthly. You're sitting at 24%, which is significantly below the industry average. How did you, how do you hit that number? Like, how are you so much better at retaining employees than the majority of your competitors?
There are several factors that play into this. One is also the selection of our clients. Like, I mean, they have the same value. They
Hmm.
have to treat their employees like a part of their core business, right? Wages, we know that you can save maybe 60, 70% instead of 60, 50, but the cost of a
Hmm.
high turnover rate is a lot. So we pay salaries above the normal. Working
Hmm.
schedule in Mexico, the normal week is 6 days a week, 48 hours. So all our staff works 45 hours and usually from Monday to Friday. If the client need it on weekend, they'll do, but so that's a better life work balance. Uh,
Hmm.
family, we really try all our treat all our employees as family. HR does a great job. Talent development does a great job at doing these events, doing this, have them motivated, and our facilities, right? We also have facilities that they like to work. One of our core values is to become Earth's a Mexico best employer. We hire everyone as full-time employees, so they get all the benefits, and they also love working for
Hmm.
these companies, right? They love working for our clients. So all this help us have that great retention.
You had also mentioned before that you charge more on average than a lot of your other competitors, and you pass those salaries directly on, or you pass that money directly on to the employees' salaries. That's a very interesting approach because I'm sure that probably a lot of your other competitors are saying, let's charge less, but then possibly have double or triple the the turnover rate, right, in comparison to you guys. Do you use that in terms of your pitch when you're speaking to clients, saying you're going to pay more, and we know that if you went somewhere else, you probably will pay more in the short term, but the long term implications of that is higher turnover, which means more problems for you, which means more problems for us. And we would rather set a price that we find really reasonable and our employees will really be able to grow with. Does that work as a pitch, or is it more complicated than that?
Yeah, it works as a pitch for some of our so for the target client that we go after. I mean, I will have this client that they don't they just want cost, save on cost, right? And there are some companies in Philippines that you'll save 80, 90% turnover is huge. They're working from home without the proper service. So what we say is to our client, there's a saying in Mexico that say don't try to save the pennies while losing the dollars. Like, okay, you might say, yeah, I want to save 10% or 15% more in wages. I mean, on the monthly fee, but that
Mm-hmm.
10%, 50% will make you have a big turnover rate, which your return over investment will be lower, right? So
Right.
the clients that are with us, they understand that, yeah, I'm paying maybe 10% more, but the return over investment is greater, and they see their team as actually as a, let's say, a core team. For example, one of our clients,
Mm-hmm.
they were the 25 biggest pest control company in the US. They wanted to jump to number 10, and they're doing that with our team, right? Right now
Mm-hmm.
they are almost there. So they see their team as part of their company, and they're willing to pay that 10% to have their team motivated, lower turnover, and have again the top 5% talent. That's something important. We hire top 5% talent.
Right. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting approach. I have, I mean, pulling off of that, you've obviously done something right over the last 4 years. What counterintuitive advice would you give to other BPO founders to hit the type of numbers that you've currently hit today?
Do a great research on which target do you want to get as a client, right? Who is your ideal client? And do everything and make that all your team, all your company, all your resources work to what's better for that target client, right? For example, in our case is having the best team, having the best candidates, providing the best service. And like one of our clients told us, he says, Pedro, there's a huge company. They say, yeah, all our suppliers, they always say, we're partners, but they don't really mean it.
Hmm.
Your team really means that,
Mm.
and that's what we always tell them, that see them as partners, give the extra mile for the client. And that's how we see them. For example, something that has helped us, Liam, is we don't charge anything if the client wants to give a bonus, commission, profit share. So it's great. We have clients that are giving profit share to their Mexican team. We have
Wow.
clients that have them in their bonus, commissions, and we don't charge anything on that because, I mean, that's what we wanted to do, right? I mean, it felt great to us seeing that, hey, this client in the US is giving profit shares to our, we call remotis, to our remotis here in Mexico. They are really part of that company.
Right.
So that would be my advice. I mean, give
Yeah. That's very
110%.
counterintuitive. I don't think I've heard of a BPO that has said, yeah, we're not going to take a slice of the extra money that's coming in, which
Yeah,
is
no,
really
we,
cool.
we don't. We want our clients to grow, and if they grow, we're gonna grow.
Right. Uh, Here's another quick, well, not a quick question. It could be very long. What is the biggest mistake that you've made in your business up until right now?
Selecting some trade shows. Last year we selected some trade shows.
Okay.
We wanted to expand our marketing effort. We were doing digital. We were doing
Marketing.
yeah, only digital marketing. So I say, yeah, let's expand it. Let's go to some trade shows. And I mean, I had a great experience and great results with the family company in trade shows, but I selected the wrong trade shows for a company for that whole year. So it didn't. I mean, the return of investment was really bad, and I had to apologize to all my team, for that. So
Mm,
because it affected the, I mean, it affected the whole team in the way that all the team are in like in profit share. I say, you know what, I'm gonna
right.
all the cost of the trade show. That's on me. For me, it was a mistake because the team also put a lot of faith on me selecting the trade shows on that marketing effort I was doing. But yeah, but I learned now. Hopefully this year we've been to
Mm.
two trade shows and they yield good results.
And do you think that you simply didn't understand how to convert customers at trade shows, or you think that trade shows just don't really work for your business?
No, and I think they work 'cause this year. I mean, in January and February we went to one and they worked. We just selected the wrong audience. That's why I mentioned
Okay.
on your last question that you have to look at the audience really well. With the trade show we went, we selected the wrong audience for those trade shows. So yeah, they didn't they didn't need our service right now. Most of the attendees. So
Got
I think
it.
we could
Oh,
have
very
done a better
interesting.
research uh, from for the trade
Right.
shows.
And choosing the right customer. My other question, or my next question, is what's the biggest thing stopping you from getting to the next level in your business? I'm sure you have some pretty aggressive goals to get to 500 to 1,000 to 2,000, 10,000, 100,000 reps. What's the biggest thing stopping you from getting to the next level in your business?
Marketing, going to other channels, which we hired
Hmm.
a SMO. We just hired an SMO this year, which is doing great. And I think we need to attack more channels, right? Because a lot of companies in the US they don't know about nearshore staffing, and usually they think yes, offshore staffing it's like it's bad or it's
The
just for
Philippines,
non-core function, data entry or
right?
invoicing. So when we tell our clients or customers about this, they go like, "Well, I didn't know that." And can I go and visit my team? Yeah. And can I fly my team to the US? Yes. And they love it. So going to other channels, where more traditional channels and also new channels where we can target more customers. And like, well, I mean, this
Mm,
week that we started that marketing strategy with the new CMO, and this week we closed three real great clients. So we closed three great clients, and one of our clients was acquired by a huge company. They make a research to see what will be better, and the research found out that remote team solutions was their better way to have their call center. So they just gave us that news yesterday, and they're going to expand it. So
wow.
it's been a great week, but yeah, that will be
Yeah.
where we need to go.
My next question here is what do you think the BPO industry needs to do differently?
And they need to educate the customer that now with all the technology that there is, you can have core functions also on a BPO, right? I
Mm,
mean, you can have we have finance analysts, managers, sales, any function that now you can have core function from your business also, and that talent is great. I mean, talent is great. Of course, there's always the company that won't do this. But yeah, educate the customer that the past thinking of the BPOs is on the past. I mean, now you have companies
Got
fully
it.
remote, right? That they're working like Asana, fully
Right.
remote.
Absolutely. Um, Kind of adding into that, one of the questions that, and I'll add this as an additional question. Um, how do you see, and we're recording this literally a week after the new Sora product was debuted from OpenAI. Do you know this new video AI product?
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually, when it was debuted, I showed to my wife the videos. She didn't believe it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it's amazing. What do I think
So
of
I
that? I
just
mean,
did a podcast about an hour ago, and we had this deep debate about the BPO industry and the impact of artificial intelligence impacting the BPO industry. How do you see the BPO industry working with and contact center industry interacting with artificial intelligence?
oh, I think it's gonna help them
What's
a
your
lot.
take?
It's gonna help them a lot. I was just in last year in Las Vegas a call center conference, and I can tell you that at least 25% of the booths were about AI, and like
Hmm.
5% of on how ChatGPT. And I think that is gonna help them make everything more efficient and have be able to provide also more information for the people working on the BPOs of the client calling of the customer from the clients to give better answers, to be more efficient, to close better sales. I just hope that they don't give everything to AI, right? Because, for example, on my case, I don't like talking to chatbots. I prefer talking to a real human. Ask me
Right,
a few questions and then get me the human. But yeah, it's gonna change a
right.
lot.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And the biggest quote that stuck with me in that conversation was, you won't be replaced by AI, you'll be replaced by someone using AI. So we all as an industry have to be able to figure out how to use these tools effectively, because it was just going to make everyone a lot more productive in their jobs. And I think that's a net positive for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, for example, when I saw that video, the first thing I thought is now an executive assistant, if she knows AI, she can make a great video. You won't need a video editor anymore. I mean, if she really knows how to use
Hmm.
AI, she can make a great video for Facebook, Instagram. So they're gonna be able
Right.
to
Absolutely.
mm, make more. But I was impressed
It's
with
an
Sora.
exciting world, but it also, I mean, when I say exciting, it could also be terrifying at the
Yeah,
same time. So,
and you have a 3 year old, so I'm guessing you are also thinking about about what your 3 year old is gonna see and privacy,
exactly.
identity thief, all that, and it's gonna be scary.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a different world for sure. Pedro, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us and chatting about the company. Where's the best place to be able to touch base with you? I know that remoteteamsolutions.com is the URL. Is there anywhere else, if people want to be able to ask a question, that they can go to get in
Yeah,
contact with you?
in our website, or I mean, my LinkedIn, they can go directly to me to my LinkedIn, or to our website. We have a chat, phone, contact form, and request quote. So that's usually the best method. And my LinkedIn, I'll answer to all messages, and on the website, they can get a contact of us.
Okay, perfect. So we'll add that into the show notes. Um, Pedro from Remote Team Solutions, thank you so much for coming on the call and sharing your knowledge of building this business literally like a year before COVID started, which seems insane to be able to build a BPO industry, BPO company, contact center company at that point. If you have any questions, again, we'll put it in the show notes. Go check them out on LinkedIn. And other than that, I will see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.